Hello people, I am Jaby KOAY, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
Hello.
A few of you have been asking for this reaction. The Forgotten Army, AZAADI Ke LIYE. Official trailer 2020 with Kabir Khan and Sunny Kaushal and Sharvari 4K. It's a very interesting name, 4K. It's actually directed by Kabir Khan. He's created and directed by Kabir Khan. And I know that 4K is not a person, it's an identity.
सरकारें ब्रिटानिया की छतरी हमारे सर पे हमेशा कायम रहे। अरे छतरी तो इन्होंने हमें बना रखा है। फट गई तो उठा कर दे दिया जापानियों के हाथ में।
There must at this stage be no thought of sparing the troops or saving the population. The battle must be fought to the bitter end. The honour of the British Empire and of the British Army is at stake.
Oh man, they were brutal.
Yeah.
आजाद हिंद फौज में भर्ती होने के लिए किसी जाति, किसी नस्ल, लड़ाकू, जनाना, मर्दाना बकवास की कोई जरूरत नहीं। जरूरत है कि वो एक हिंदुस्तानी है और अपने मुल्क के लिए लड़ने के लिए पूरी तरह से तैयार है। माया।
कैप्टन सोटी। जिसके नमक खाए हैं, उसे खून और गद्दारी खा रहा है। मुझे ये याद नहीं कि मैं इंग्लैंड कब आया था तुम्हारा नमक खाने, लेकिन इतना अच्छी तरह से मालूम है कि पिछले 200 साल से हिंदुस्तान में रहकर तुम हमारा नमक जरूर खा रहे हो। It's time for you to go back home, Major, and leave mine. एक दिन हिंदुस्तान हमारी इस कुर्बानी को याद रखेगा। शायद समझ नहीं पाएगा, पर याद जरूर करेगा।
I didn't know that this battle existed with the Japanese.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I know that the Japanese were very aggressive during World War II, but
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I wasn't aware that they reached India. I know that my dad's godfather had to go fight in Burma, I think.
It's a very apt title.
Yeah. But that's the thing, because when you think World War II, you...
हिंदुस्तान के सपने को सच करने के लिए आजाद हिंद फौज लड़ती रही।
Wow.
Some great use of the Phantom camera. I think that's the name of the camera. The Phantom is the like high frames per second camera.
Yeah.
It's like 10,000 frames per second or something crazy like that. It was used in The Hurt Locker. I had no idea that this encounter ever existed. It's so fascinating to me.
Were they in Singapore or were they were in India? I'm a little bit confused about the location, right? Because I know at the end they said we're marching to Delhi, right? But regardless, I think when you think World War II, you don't normally go, oh, there were Indian soldiers fighting as well in World War II.
All I can think about is how brutal the Japanese were during World War II.
Yeah.
It's sort of strange because it's like they went the opposite route of Germany, where instead of feeling ashamed for World War II, they sort of try to sweep it under the rug and be like, that never happened. We weren't,
That's
what
like the super Asian way to do it.
it's like... Well, the thing about it is, America came down hard on Japan. Like, they dropped 2 A-bombs. It was a Hiroshima A-bomb and Nagasaki, right?
Yeah.
And after that, the Japanese emperor came out for the first time, like nobody had ever seen him before, and they signed a declaration of basically disbanding their army. Like, they weren't allowed to bear arms or something like that. I forget exactly what it was. My history's vague, but it's foggy. But I think that's what happened, and that's why I think that's why the Japanese don't really have an army anymore. Or do they have an army now?
I don't know.
Maybe they have an army now. I have no idea. But like, you don't often hear about the Japanese army anymore, and it's because of this whole thing. Like, they got super ambitious and aggressive during World War II, and they aligned with the Nazis and whatnot.
They were all over Asia. They were in Thailand as well. And
but it's so bad what they did back then that even to this day, there is still resentment in the Philippines and in China. I mean, they're doing business now, but like you'll still find people, like I remember being a kid. And what's odd is it also comes from certain Japanese people as well. I remember being a kid and my dad had a Japanese friend. He was like, do you have any Chinese friends? I go, yeah. And he goes, you shouldn't be friends with them. They're not good people. I'm like, damn. I'm like 8 years old, dude. I knew then that was bad information to be told. Like, I knew then that was racist and wrong to tell me. Sometimes I tell people, like, I say that Asians are the most racist people on the planet. and people have, anyone who's not Asian doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Because there's so much tension between Asians. I had no idea that there was ever an encounter between Indians and Japanese before. Because you never hear about that. You hear about Indians and Chinese, because the borders are so close together.
Yeah.
And of course Indians and Pakistani.
I imagine that they were forced to fight because of being part of the British Empire, right? So
right.
Of course they would use whatever resources they had, resources being Indian people, to go fight their war and to just kind of use them to fight in Asia.
I only caught like obviously a clip of that white dude, but it seems like they actually got a good white actor to play that role of the aggravating soldier.
The major.
The major who was pissing off the Indian soldier. He seems like a good actor, because I'm sure you've heard me comment many times on the channel about how oftentimes when I'm watching an Indian film, the Caucasian actors they get are not very good. From what I understand, they're kind of swooped up off the street, just thrown into a movie. They're like, you want to be in a movie? Cool, come over here.
Great.
You look
Put
great.
on a costume, let's go.
I really, really, really want to watch this, is
Yeah.
what I should have said earlier in this commentary, is that I am very, very intrigued by this story, by this, is it a movie or a series?
It looks like it's a series.
Yeah. I definitely want to watch it. It looks very compelling.
It really does. And I find it really interesting as well that they had women in the army. And I don't know if that's kind of something that actually happened or something that they've kind of added in to make it more, relevant to the times. But if it is true that there were women who were volunteering and who were fighting, I think that's
I don't think that they
pretty amazing.
I don't think they would take a liberty of that kind of stretch. I don't think they would go that far with making something up.
Like, trying to be social justice warrior and adding women in there.
I really don't think they made that up. I'm pretty sure that's legit and real.
If that's the creed of the Indian army and has been for so long, because that would have been in the 40s, then that's pretty amazing, because that's so progressive for back then. Because I'm sure that the British army, you wouldn't have been able to fight if you wanted to. Like, you could have been a war nurse.
I want to speak to the quality of this, because I think that it's very high quality. There's this thing I've heard about Amazon versus Netflix, and I heard that Amazon is very hands-on with how they have their content crafted, whereas Netflix is more hands-off. They're like, just go do it. Well, here's some more money. Just get it done. Just get it done. At the front, they don't really give you enough money. They'll give you more money on the back end to get it done faster.
Netflix.
Or like later on. I don't know if my terms are making sense, but with Amazon, they're hand-holding you and trying to make sure this looks up to their standards, up to their quality.
Right.
And this definitely speaks to high quality content for me. I'm watching that, I'm like, this looks as good as a movie.
Yeah.
Sometimes you watch Netflix stuff and you're like, that looks like TV. That's how I felt about The Witcher. Like the first episode of I saw the first 2 episodes of The Witcher, and it looks like TV to me. It doesn't look like cinema. This looks like cinema to me, especially with some of the occasional use of that super slow motion stuff.
Right.
It's weird because it's violent, but beautiful. And it creates this interesting emphasis all at once. It's used sparingly. It's not used like a lot.
Yeah.
Right? It's used in very specific spots. Kind of like, The Hurt Locker. You don't want to overdo it. And I think that if the trailer speaks to the rhythm of the show, then it's going to be used only when it really needs to be used.
And Kabir Khan is a movie director, so it totally makes sense that this would have more of a cinematic feel, if it is indeed a TV show.
I feel very silly for the tonality that I approached this video with at the beginning, because I came in very jokey, not knowing the tone of the show movie thing, and I didn't know the story that was involved. I had no idea that this was a thing, and so I am very, very intrigued. I apologize that we didn't watch this sooner, and I'm excited. I'm excited to learn about this. I mean, obviously, artistic licensing, liberties are always taken in order to tell a particular story, to make the narrative cohesive and fit. But I think that is often more true with movies than with shows. With shows, you have a little bit more leeway, and you can be closer to whatever that story actually is.
Right, yeah.
Because you have more time to tell that story. Obviously, you still have to take liberties to fit it in, you know, in this episodic thing, but I think you can get closer to the source material. I'm very excited to learn about this from the show. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Be sure to check out ACHARA KIRK on the social media and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon to get notified every time we drop another video. And I'm Jaby KOAY. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out. I was like, do I need to say the whole spiel? It's like, they get it. They know.
Yeah, they know. They know.